Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 242 of Show For You. Today we'll be going over episode 3 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Season 4, or Core 4. So, this episode starts off with us seeing as the battle between Ichigo and Yuhabaha, also as the battle with Uryu versus Hoshvald continues. So, at first we see as Ichigo is once again kind of struggling and failing, and we then see as Orihime tries to come in a little bit, but ultimately Yuhabaha reveals that her, defenses are quite ineffective against Yuhabaha because Yuhabaha's soul pressure and energy signature is very similar to that of Ichigo's, so Orihime is already kind of synthesized to Ichigo's spiritual pressure, so it has less of an effect when dealing with Yuhabaha. That was kind of an odd thing. It was only spoken on briefly, so I don't really know how to describe that. But yeah, so as this fight continues, we see as ultimately Yuhabaha ends up revealing that, he has essentially become the world because he is fused with the Soul King and he is the center. He has become the heart of the world. And we also see as Hoshvald in his fight with Uryu corroborates this, and we then see as Ichigo's like, I don't care. He shows his determination in beating Yuhabaha because he's like, heck, even if I take the world down, even if the world has to fall because you are defeated, then that is something that I must do. And he continues to just throw his all out at Yuhabaha. So, kind of see as this plays out, and Yuhabaha is still trying to do some convincing on Ichigo. We see as he ultimately ends up revealing to Ichigo that, Ichibei has in fact been coddling you and grooming you, not grooming in like that way, but like grooming as in fixing up to become something, fostering you to become the next Soul King, and he is not going to essentially allow you to continue living if you defeat me because the world will need another Soul King, and you are going to fill that position because that is what he has decided for you. And we just kind of see as this kind of hits Ichigo a little bit, but ultimately it doesn't end up, breaking his spirits, and he continues to fight Yuhabaha. So then we end up swapping to a fight which is going down with the Schulhof or whatever the elites of the Quincy's are. But we see then with one of them, since we kind of stopped focusing on the Oskin fight now, since Oskin is defeated, we're now focusing on the Gerard fight. So at first we see as the Visored all prepare and send attacks at Gerard, or Gerard Valkyrie, whatever you want to call him, and that does nothing. They essentially fail in their endeavors. And so then we see as Toshiro ends up pulling up. And Toshiro ends up giving us, a pretty decent effort towards this. And he starts throwing his attacks in, doing a little bit of damage, but ultimately it is unsuccessful. And he starts getting beat pretty bad. I don't get, why Toshiro is viewed as a prodigy. Yes, I know why he is, but, he rarely does anything of value in a fight. But whatever. So then we end up swapping back to the, view of Ichigo versus Yuhabaha, and Ichigo and Orihime versus Yuhabaha. And here we see as Ichigo's kind of fighting a little more strategically. We see his swords changing throughout this, and ultimately we see as he ends up with a white sword, and Orihime notices and she's like, you got a white sword now. And Ichigo reveals, yes, I was absorbing Quincy energy from Yuhabaha to imbue it into my sword and then achieve this new form. And we see as Ichigo undergoes a transformation where he reaches his Semi-Hollowfied form, and a dagger-like horn sprouts from the side of Ichigo's head, and it is sick. It will most certainly, I don't know if most certainly is the case, but it will probably be the thumbnail of this video because it was so cool. And that was cool too because we saw as Yuhabaha was commenting on Ichigo's characteristics, and he mentions about how Ichigo is Soul Reaper, Quincy, Human, Fullbringer, Hollow, all that crap. And Ichigo has shown, a new transformation, which is very fitting for someone who is essentially the amalgamation of everything in the universe. But yeah, so then after this sick transformation, we end up going back to the Gerard fight, where we see as Toshiro is ultimately saved by Byakuya, and we then see as Byakuya just kind of stands there, and he doesn't really do anything this entire episode until ultimately Kenpachi ends up pulling up, and he actually starts doing stuff. He cuts off Gerard's arm, and this ends up revealing, I don't necessarily think this ends up revealing, because I think we already knew Gerard's ability by then, but it ends up just re-representing or re-demonstrating what Gerard's ability is, and that is once something is cut off, it grows larger and stronger, and that's why he's so big at the moment. And we then see as Gerard ends up focusing on Kenpachi because he's like, you're a real one, because Kenpachi is the realist. And so they start having a bit of a 1v1. We see as Kenpachi ends up whipping out his Shikai, which is super cool as per usual. It's kind of almost like a butcher's knife with a curve at the hilt, and it's not like a full sword. like I said, it's very reminiscent of a butcher's knife, but we kind of see as that continues, and nothing really major comes from that fight yet. Now, we'll probably see more next episode. Like, I mean, the Oskin fight lasted 2 episodes. This one will probably last 2 episodes as well. So, I am really hyped to see it. But also, what I'm most certainly hyped for is to see where this new Semi-Hollowfied transformation goes for Ichigo, because holy smokes, was it sick. Like, it's super cool, and I cannot wait to see, like, the full thing, because we only got a brief glimpse at it. I'm really like to see, like, a full thing of it, and, like, absolutely, like, see it in action. That would be so cool, and I cannot wait to see that, hopefully, next episode. But yeah, so that's all it really was for episode 3 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Season 4, and I believe that's all we really have for episode 242 of Shelf Review. So, thank you very much for watching.